Dear friends, ever wondered if kindness can be harmful to our lives? Sounds paradoxical, right? But let Morgan reflect on a common assumption. Kindness always brings good things. We often think that by helping and giving endlessly, we are doing the best for ourselves and others. But what happens if kindness is not in the right place? Today, Morgan will explore with you 10 ways of how kindness will ruin your life. Stoicism. These are the ways in which kindness can unintentionally become the source of trouble and suffering. From loss of self-esteem to being taken advantage of, from dependency to self-neglect, these effects not only hurt us, but also hinder personal growth. Have you ever experienced these feelings? But don't worry. Morgan is here to help you find ways to maintain kindness without losing yourself. By applying the principles of Stoic philosophy, we will learn to give wisely and balancedly, so that kindness can truly be a source of inspiration and strength in our lives. Be prepared to see kindness from a new perspective and find ways to preserve your mental health and happiness. Are you ready? Let's join Morgan on this journey and discover interesting things. And Morgan wants to send you a challenge of your patience and determination, which is to watch the entire video to fully discover the valuable lessons. This not only helps you understand kindness more deeply, but also trains the perseverance of a true Stoic. Are you ready? If you are ready, please comment. Accept the challenge. And let's join Morgan on this journey and discover these interesting things. Today, we're going on a strange and surprising journey. Have you ever thought that kindness can make you lose your self-esteem? Sounds paradoxical, right? But let Morgan explain why this might happen. Coming to number 1, loss of self-respect. When we are too focused on pleasing others, we can easily overlook our own self-worth. Have you ever asked yourself, am I doing too much to please others? Perhaps you've spent so much time and effort helping that you've forgotten about yourself. Morgan was like that, and it's sad to realize that excessive kindness not only blurs personal boundaries, but also makes us easy to take advantage of. When we always put others first, we can gradually lose respect for ourselves. We begin to wonder if we are valuable enough if we are not constantly helping and pleasing those around us. This leads to a spiral of low self-esteem and loss of self-esteem. Does this feel familiar to you? Morgan looks forward to hearing your story. Morgan wants you to remember that kindness does not mean sacrificing yourself. It's important that we know how to maintain boundaries and respect ourselves. Only when we know how to love and respect ourselves can we truly help and spread love in a sincere and sustainable way. Let kindness be a part of our lives, but don't let it overshadow our self-worth. Dear friends, always remember, Morgan is here to explore with you and change your life for the better. Share your story, the struggles, and the lessons you've learned. Let's create a loving and strong community together. After exploring together how kindness can sap our self-esteem, join Morgan on this journey to better understand another way kindness can have unintended consequences. Want. When we forget our own values and constantly put others first, we can unintentionally encourage inappropriate behavior from others. Do you find yourself often ignoring or accepting bad behavior just because you want to maintain peace? Let's dive into the next topic with Morgan: encouraging bad behavior. We will explore how kindness, if misplaced, can cause those around us to abuse our kindness. Let's learn and change together to live a more balanced and meaningful life. Number 2. Enabling bad behavior. Morgan has a close friend whom Morgan is always willing to help and forgive. Every time he makes a mistake, Morgan thinks that letting it go and not blaming him will help him feel loved and supported. But that leads to him continuing his bad behavior because he knows that Morgan will always forgive. When we are too nice and don't set clear boundaries, we unintentionally encourage bad behavior in others. Have you ever been in this situation? When kindness is left unchecked, it can cause others to abuse our kindness. Have you ever asked yourself, am I helping or harming them? Morgan used to think that always forgiving and helping was the best way, but then realized that wasn't necessarily true. Let's try to look at this problem from a different angle. When we don't confront bad behavior, we're sending a message that it's acceptable. This not only harms us, but also harms the other person, because they don't have the opportunity to recognize and correct their mistakes. Do you feel like you've ever been in this situation? Please comment and share your story. Morgan wants you to remember that kindness needs to be accompanied by wisdom and boundaries. Only when we know how to protect ourselves and demand respect from others can we truly help them effectively. After understanding how kindness can unintentionally encourage bad behavior, let's move on to another equally important issue: burnout from giving too much. When we don't know how to set boundaries and control our kindness, not only will others abuse our kindness, but we can easily fall into mental and physical exhaustion. Do you feel like you've given so much that you no longer have energy left for yourself? Let's explore the next topic with Morgan. Number 3. Burnout from overgiving. And find out how to maintain balance in life. Have you ever wondered what happens when we keep giving without stopping to take care of ourselves? What happens when our kindness knows no bounds? Let's help Morgan solve this mystery. When our kindness knows no bounds, our bodies and souls become exhausted. Have you ever felt tired and exhausted after helping so many people? If you think the answer is yes, please comment yes below. At one time, Morgan devoted all his time and energy to helping everyone around him, thinking that was the only way to show kindness. But then Morgan realized that when he was exhausted, he no longer had the strength to help anyone, including himself. This made Morgan understand that burnout from giving too much is a very common phenomenon for people who always want to help others. When our kindness has no boundaries, we easily fall into a state of overwork, leaving no time or energy to take care of ourselves. This not only affects our health, but also reduces the effectiveness of the help we want to give others. Have you ever experienced this feeling? Please comment and share your story. We need to learn how to balance giving and self-care. Only when we maintain balance can we help others effectively and sustainably. Remember, you can't fill someone else's cup if yours is empty. Morgan is here to remind you that self-care is not selfish, but a necessary part of living a meaningful and fulfilling life. After understanding the exhaustion from giving too much, let's look at another problem, that infinite kindness can lead to being taken advantage of. When we give endlessly and forget to take care of ourselves, we become easy targets for people willing to take advantage of our kindness. Have you ever felt like you were taken advantage of because you were too nice? Let's explore the next topic with Morgan. Number 4. Being taken advantage of. Have you ever suddenly realized that your kindness not only exhausts you, but also becomes a tool for others to take advantage of? Sounds paradoxical, right? But let Morgan explain why this might happen. When we are always willing to help and give without setting any boundaries, we create a favorable environment for others to abuse our kindness. Have you ever asked yourself, am I helping or am I being taken advantage of? Maybe you used to help someone constantly, but gradually realized that they only came to you when they needed something. That's a clear sign of being taken advantage of. Do you have any similar stories? Please share with Morgan. Morgan recalls the words of philosopher Epictetus. A free person is one who is not bound by things beyond his control. When we give without consideration, we unintentionally bind ourselves to the needs and desires of others, thereby losing freedom and control in our lives. A typical example is when Morgan is always willing to help a colleague whenever they encounter difficulties. At first, Morgan thought it was a way to build a good relationship, but gradually, Morgan realized that colleague only came to him when he needed help and never cared about Morgan's feelings or needs. This makes Morgan feel taken advantage of and lose trust in others. We need to learn how to set clear boundaries and say no when necessary. Not only does this help us protect ourselves, but it also teaches others how to respect and appreciate our kindness. Do you have difficulty setting boundaries? Please comment and share with Morgan. It is important for us to remember that kindness does not mean doing everything for everyone. True kindness is knowing how to help others wisely and meaningfully without harming yourself. We need to maintain our personal values and not let our kindness be taken advantage of. Always remember, kindness must come with wisdom. We need to know how to give without letting ourselves be taken advantage of. Learn how to build strong boundaries, preserve your self-worth, and live a fulfilling and meaningful life. After learning together about how our kindness can be taken advantage of, have you ever wondered what happens when we get so caught up in helping others that we forget to take care of ourselves? Join Morgan to explore a new and challenging aspect. Neglecting self-care. When kindness makes us forget our own worth, what happens? Let's dive into the next topic with Morgan and find out how to maintain balance in life. Number 5. Neglecting self-care. It's shocking that 60% of people who help others regularly neglect to take care of themselves. This not only exhausts us, but also causes us to lose joy and motivation in life. Have you ever felt like that? When kindness makes us forget our own needs, we begin to feel tired, stressed, and empty. Remember the words of philosopher Seneca. We are often so busy with small things that we forget the important things. Morgan also experienced this situation, where she always put the needs of others first, leading to feeling exhausted and losing balance. But Morgan found an unexpected and effective solution. Take time for yourself every day. Just 15–30 minutes a day doing things you love, like reading, meditating, or going for a walk, can help you recharge and feel more balanced. Do you have any habits that help you relax and take care of yourself? Please share with Morgan and everyone in the comments. We need to remember that self-care is not selfish, but a way to maintain health and happiness. We cannot help others effectively if we ourselves are exhausted. As Epictetus said, "The wise man takes care of his soul before taking care of the world." Taking time to care for yourself will not only help you feel better, but it will also increase your ability to help others. Learn to love and respect yourself, because only when you are happy and healthy can you spread kindness and love in a sustainable way. Let's create a more balanced and meaningful life together. You guys are so wonderful to have explored and understood the first 5 topics with Morgan. We have gone through the first challenging and exciting steps, and Morgan is very proud of you. Let's take a moment to look back at what we have learned and feel the positive change in our lives. Which topic are you most impressed with in this topic? Please comment on the number that impresses you the most. Dear friends, our journey cannot stop here. There are still 5 more important topics waiting for us to explore. Morgan believes that with perseverance and determination, we will continue to find new ways to live more balanced and meaningful lives. Let's continue this journey together, discovering further lessons to become stronger and more inspired. Please continue to follow and explore the remaining 5 topics with Morgan. Coming to number 6, creating dependency. Have you ever thought that your kindness could unintentionally create dependence in others? It may sound contradictory, but sometimes too much help can do more harm than good. When we constantly help someone without letting them stand up for themselves, we unintentionally weaken their ability to be independent. Have you ever experienced this situation? Kindness and support are necessary, but we need to consider how and how much we help. Morgan recalls the words of philosopher Epictetus. It is not external events, but the thought of them that makes us suffer. When we are too protective and don't let others face challenges on their own, we deprive them of the opportunity to grow and learn from their personal experiences. Think about a situation that Morgan once experienced. A relative always came to Morgan every time he was in trouble. At first, Morgan felt happy to be able to help, but gradually that person became too dependent. Whenever there is a problem, instead of finding a solution themselves, they rely on Morgan. This not only exhausted Morgan, but also made her lose her ability to solve problems on her own. Have you ever been in a similar situation? To avoid creating dependency, we need to learn how to support wisely. Instead of doing everything for others, we can guide them, provide tools, and encourage them to find their own solutions. This not only helps them become stronger and more independent, but also helps us maintain energy and balance in life. Morgan wants to remind you that helping others is important, but it is also important to know when to stop and let them walk on their own. Only when we know how to support properly can we truly bring lasting value to others and ourselves. Let's learn together how to help effectively and sustainably to create a happier and more fulfilling life. If you agree, please comment. Stop dependency. So now that you understand how kindness can unintentionally create dependence, have you ever wondered what happens when we continually give without receiving anything in return? This can lead to an underlying emotion that few people want to admit. Join Morgan to explore the next topic further and find out how to stay kind without losing yourself. Number 7. Suppressed resentment. Have you ever felt like you always give, but don't receive anything in return? This can lead to a simmering emotion that few people want to admit: repressed resentment. Let's explore this with Morgan. Have you ever felt like you were carrying an invisible burden? As Marcus Aurelius once said, "What matters is not what happens, but how you react to it." When we fail to express our frustrations or true feelings, we create a fire of resentment within. This resentment not only damages our souls, but also weakens our relationships with others. Morgan has experienced this, always trying to please everyone without receiving appreciation in return, leading to feelings of being hurt and not valued. To overcome pent-up resentment, we need to learn how to communicate honestly and clearly about our feelings. This requires courage and honesty with yourself and others. Are you ready to accept this challenge and start communicating more openly? Acknowledging and releasing pent-up emotions is an important part of living a balanced and happy life. Let's learn to love and respect ourselves and keep our kindness spread honestly and intact. After understanding how pent-up resentment can damage our souls and relationships, have you ever wondered how false expectations can affect our kindness? Let's explore the next topic with Morgan. When we put too much expectation on others and don't get what we expected in return, what happens? Join Morgan to learn and discover important lessons to live a more balanced and happier life. Number 8. False expectations. Have you ever wondered why we often feel disappointed and hurt when our kindness is not reciprocated as expected? This often stems from false expectations we place on others. Let's explore this topic more deeply with Morgan. Have you ever felt like you expected too much of others and then felt disappointed? As philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens that makes us suffer, but how we perceive it." When we help someone, we sometimes expect that they will reciprocate with gratitude, care, or even help in return. But reality often doesn't happen like that. These unrealistic expectations can lead to hurt feelings, disappointment, and resentment. Morgan has experienced this before, placing too many expectations on others and then feeling heartbroken when she doesn't get what she expected. But then Morgan realized that it's important to adjust our expectations. Instead of expecting others to reciprocate, focus on doing good because it brings joy and meaning to yourself. Have you ever experienced this feeling? To overcome false expectations, we need to learn to let go and accept that everyone has their own way of reacting and coping with help. This not only helps us avoid feelings of disappointment, but also helps us live more freely and happily. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thinking." True kindness is when we give without expecting anything in return. Learn to love and help others because of the joy and meaning it brings to yourself. When we do this, we will feel freer and happier. Have you ever wondered what happens when kindness is not coupled with self-protection? When we trust and give too easily, we become more vulnerable. So how do we maintain kindness without losing our own protection? Coming to number 9, increased vulnerability. Morgan wants to tell you a story. One time, Morgan met a friend who was always open to helping everyone around him without holding anything back for himself. That friend became a great source of inspiration, but because of that unconditional kindness, he was repeatedly hurt and abused. Have you ever felt yourself becoming vulnerable because you trust too much and give too much? When we open our hearts and give, we not only share kindness, but also open the door to risk. People who don't have good intentions can take advantage of our trust and kindness, making us feel hurt and lose trust. As the philosopher Epictetus said, "We are not hurt by things that happen, but by how we perceive them." When our kindness is not coupled with self-preservation, we become more vulnerable to difficulties and challenges. Morgan also experienced this feeling, always trying to help people and getting hurt in return. But Morgan has learned that to maintain kindness, we need to learn how to protect ourselves. This doesn't mean being tough or insensitive, but knowing how to set reasonable boundaries to protect your self-esteem and mental health. Have you ever experienced this feeling? Please comment and share your story. One way to protect yourself is to learn to say no when necessary. This helps us maintain balance and not abuse our kindness. Remember, protecting yourself is not selfish, but a necessary part of genuine kindness. When we know how to protect ourselves, we can give in a more sustainable and meaningful way. Finally, coming to number 10, hindering personal growth. Would you believe that up to 70% of people who regularly help others feel that they are hindering their personal growth? That's a shocking number, but it's very real. Morgan has experienced this feeling when all her efforts and time are devoted to supporting others, but forgetting to take care of and develop herself. Have you ever felt stuck in this cycle? When we constantly give and help others, we can miss important opportunities to develop our own skills and knowledge. Instead of investing in learning and improving ourselves, we spend all our time and energy on other people's problems. As philosopher Seneca said, "No one can grow without investing in himself." Helping others is important, but we also need to remember that our personal development is equally important. Morgan learned that to truly help others effectively, we need to develop and improve ourselves first. This not only helps us gain more knowledge and skills to support others, but also brings confidence and motivation to ourselves. Have you ever felt hindered in your personal development? Please comment and share your story. Personal development is not selfish, but is the foundation on which we can help others in a sustainable and effective way. Take time to invest in yourself, learn, and grow every day. When we become strong and steadfast, we can truly spread kindness and help others sincerely and effectively. So, we've come together to explore 10 ways kindness can unintentionally harm your life. This doesn't mean we should stop helping or become insensitive, but rather learn to give wisely and in a balanced way. Remember, true kindness is when we love and respect ourselves and help others without losing ourselves. Kindness should not be a burden, but a source of inspiration and strength. Remind yourself that self-care is essential to being able to help others in a sustainable and effective way. Set healthy boundaries. Say no when necessary, and don't let your kindness be taken advantage of. As philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thinking." Keep your thoughts positive and appreciate your self-worth. Morgan wants to remind you that helping others is a wonderful thing, but don't forget that you also deserve love and care. If you find this video useful, please help Morgan press the like button. Comment 1 so YouTube will rate this video useful, or you can share with friends, and subscribe to Stoic Kingdom channel so you don't miss the next videos. In addition, you can watch other videos displayed at the end of this video. Thank you, and see you again in the following videos. Wishing you peace and happiness on the path of Stoicism.